remember that Disney Channel original movie Cloud 9 with Dove Cameron and Luke Benward? This book was like that movie, but X-rated. First and foremost, huge shout out and thank you to Brianna Sanchez, the author of this book. She fell on my TikTok FYP page. She was looking for readers to read her novel in exchange for some reviews, and so I reached out and here we are. So thank you so much, Brianna, for giving me the opportunity to read your book and leave a review about it. Falling for You is the first book in her series, Seasons of Love. Her second book, Snowed in Love, is also currently available. Both are available to purchase in either a digital or paperback format on Amazon right now. I will have those links in the description if you're interested. I have not read the second one, but that's okay because we're here to talk about the first one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review. There will be absolutely no spoilers. There will just be a little bit of context and backstory so you guys kind of know what you are signing up for. I am actually going to read a sentence from the author's book description because I think it just sums it up perfectly. Falling for You is a story of collision and connection, the kind of love that burns bright and digs deep. It's for anyone who's ever fallen hard, hoped big, and had to decide if love is worth the risk. And boy, was all of that true. We're following two POVs in this. We got Genevieve and Aspen. Genevieve is a freshman in college and she is considered the it girl. She is smart, she is beautiful, and pretty much just gets everything that she wants. However, she has no idea what she wants to do with her life. She is getting a lot of pressure from her family to kind of follow in their footsteps. They're all in the medical field. Her two brothers are both doctors. So both her parents are kind of pushing her to do the exact same thing. But that is so not Genevieve's thing. She has a passion for fashion. Didn't mean for that to sound so cheesy, but that is actually kind of on par with this book. So in an attempt to escape her inner struggle, she is actually gonna go on a fall holiday break. So she decides to take a trip to a ski resort that she used to visit a lot as a kid. And that is where she meets Aspen. He is this gorgeous man who dreams of becoming a pro snowboarder. He has the drive, he is very motivated, but his problem is that he kind of has a drug problem. So each of these characters has their own flaws, has these issues that they're dealing with, and that ends up becoming issues for them together later on in the book. But they do fall head over heels in love with each other so hard and so quickly, and it's very devastating when it's coming towards the end of Genevieve's trip and she has to head on home. Then commences all the drama. This book is classified as an erotica romance, and I was very not prepared for that. I was under the impression that this was just going to be like a typical romance with maybe like a little bit of spice, but I was very wrong very quickly. It wasn't until I actually went to go log in my book app, like my daily reading, when I saw the label right there, erotica. So that was my bad. I mentioned this before. I am not one to read spicy novels. I don't read romance all that often, although I've been having a lot of authors send me their romance books, so I feel like I've been reading them a lot more recently, but definitely not to this level of spice. So in my opinion, because I don't have a whole lot to gauge this on, I would give this a 4 out of 5 on the chili meter because there was so much sexual content, sexually explicit content. It was rather vulgar. It was very descriptive and it made me uncomfortable, but only because that's not my thing. If that is totally your thing, you would love this book. I promise you. My best comparison of this book is that this actually felt like an X-rated Disney Channel movie. Specifically, Cloud 9 with Dove Cameron and Luke Benward came out, I think, in like 2014. Movie about snowboarders, all of that. I honestly was picturing that movie in my head the entire time I was reading this book. And then you give it that X rating, and then there you go. There's Falling for You. The story itself, I thought was very cute. It was very endearing, but it felt childish, which honestly makes sense because these characters are still very young. Genevieve is a freshman in college, so she is 18, maybe 19, and then Aspen, I think, is like maybe 2 years older than her, so like they're not even of like adult age yet. They are very, very young adult / still teenagers. So yes, this plot felt kind of childish for me to read. About halfway through, I felt like the plot was just getting very repetitive, which I found rather annoying. Like, I already know these things that already happened. Why do we need to recap it? Let's just move on. And I felt like the timeline was way too rushed. Minus the epilogue, when we fast forward a couple of years, this entire book takes place over the course of, I believe, about 2 weeks. That to me just does not feel like a realistic timeline for any relationship to develop that quickly. So I do think that this book had some real potential, but it was definitely missing some stuff. Again, no spoilers, but there were several B and C storylines that were happening that we actually either loosely got a resolution for it, so like maybe scratching the surface, but we don't get like a full explanation to what happens with these storylines. And then there are actually some storylines that we get no resolution. And so I was left with some questions. Now, who's to say that these don't get answered in the future books? But for this specific one, I think they should have been answered. We should have gotten resolutions for any and every storyline brought up within this book. So with all of that being said, I did enjoy this book. I promise you, I did enjoy reading it. It was very fun, and I'm glad that I did read it. I think I just personally am not the right reader for this book. This book is definitely for all of the romance readers and all of the smut girlies that are out there. You know who you are. So if that applies to any of you guys, go read this book. Go read Falling For You. You will really enjoy it. I promise you, it will be a grand time for you. So for all of those reasons, for everything I just talked about, I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. Again, it was cute. It was fun. I enjoyed reading it. I had some issues with it. It was not my thing. This very much is not my typical read. It's not for me. I do like to give all genres a fair chance, but I think deep down I am just a hardcore thriller and horror book lover. So yeah, there we go. The end. Thank you for watching. Again, Falling For You is now available for purchase on Amazon, either in a digital or the paperback format. Links for that will be in the description. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you next time for the next book review.